assuming they had their meeting at West High on the balanced calendar. I'm telling you, we got barraged with people calling yesterday that didn't want to go in there. They just called and let us know things. Parents, who had kids throughout all of Knox County schools. And I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but you should go to either the Knox Talk Radio Facebook page or the Rude Awakening Facebook page. Check the picture out. We took a picture. We printed out the schedule for the balanced calendar meetings. Took a picture of it and posted it on our Facebook pages. It's the most confusing thing you've ever seen. Because the majority of them were dated 2011. Every one of those meetings took place in February and March of this year, not 2011. So you had the first thing, you had the misprint that it was 2011, the typo, as it were.
Which, I understand mistakes. That's fine, okay?
Yeah, but it's the majority. Apparently nobody actually looked over the the schedule before they posted it.
Well, obviously.
And the question I had was, why wouldn't you actually post a schedule right there on the page? It's not that hard. You just build a table. I do it all the time for our website. If somebody needs to know how to do that, call me. I'll come over and help you and show you how to do it for free. It's not that hard. If I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out, especially if you're getting paid a lot of money to post these things. It's not that hard to do. But instead of having an actual schedule on their page, they had this link where you had to go and download a spreadsheet. So sadly, apparently whoever did that didn't really know how to do a spreadsheet or how to type 2015 instead of 2011. And then they didn't do it chronologically. They did it alphabetically. The subset was alphabetically according to the schools that were going to be involved and talked about. So not even done by location, not done chronologically like you would do most schedules, but done by the schools involved in that evening's discussion. Honestly, the more you look at it, the more it just seems it was set up to be a very hard thing to find, because you had to go under academics. You had to go under academics to find the link for the balanced calendar. Then you clicked on balanced calendar, then you went to the side to find the sublink for the actual schedule. You would think, looking at the site, should be something that's fairly easy to find. It wasn't.
Yeah, it should have been front and center on the first page, on the landing page of the website. Very clear for everybody to see. Where do I go for the meeting about the balanced calendar if my child goes to X school?
You would think. I mean, you go to Knox County, you go to knoxschools.org, you go to their site, and you have home, about us, Board of Education, administration, academics, departments, for families, for staff, community, contact us. When I was first looking at this, I thought, okay, look at quick links, and they had school times, school menus, district calendar. I thought, maybe I'll go here. Maybe it's under district calendar. Maybe there'll be a link from that. No, it's not there. Then I thought, okay, maybe it's under administration, since that's who's looking at it. They have strategic plan, budget, smart spending, policies, procedures, higher standard. No, it's not there. You finally go over to academics, and right in the middle of the fifth one down, we have early childhood, elementary, secondary, adult education, balanced calendar.
Where'd that come from?
Under academics?
Under academics. That's where you find the link, and then you go to that, and then it has about the balanced calendar, information about the balanced calendar voice thread, why it's important, initial public discussions. And it says balanced calendar discussions first began in November 2011 when Fulton High School and Austin East Magnet High School approached the Knox County Board of Education with the idea of incorporating a balanced calendar into their schools. And then you go over school-wide balanced calendar meetings under quick links. And then you click in this ridiculous thing. Now here's the nice thing. Apparently somebody was listening. Oddly. Somebody was listening because about 15 minutes after we got off the air, they finally... No, they didn't, because I'm looking at it now. I looked at the other day. It said that the 2015 had been fixed. There's still 2011 on there. Never mind. I was going to give them kudos saying they fixed it, but apparently they didn't. They don't care enough to. And they purposely want to confuse you, I think. Because that's the only thing I think of. That's the only explanation you can have by looking at this. It's purposely done this way to confuse you. So they probably had their meeting last night. We heard from several parents saying, they either didn't get any information or they got the information in February, and then after all the cancellations and stuff, they never heard anything else. We heard some parents say they never got anything at all. We heard some parents say they got, a text notification, but it was too late to do anything about it. And unfortunately, that seems to be par for the course. If you control the information, well then you have all the power. 6:26. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. So if anybody was able to go to that meeting last night, we would love to hear from you this morning.
Absolutely.
You can text in, text box open. If you have the app, you can post on the chat room on the website, knoxtalkradio.com. You can call us, 865-243-TALK, 243-8255. If you went to the meeting last night, we'd love to hear from you. Because, as we've heard in the most meetings that they've ever had, it's the same thing. They break up into small discussion groups. You have somebody that leads the group, and then they come back and present their ideas. The more I see this, though, and the more they keep doing this, it really sounds like this isn't a meeting to gather information. This is a meeting to say, here's what we're thinking about doing. And then later on to say, we had a meeting and we had some people give their ideas. How many people? It doesn't matter. There were people there. We held a meeting. We announced it publicly, and there were some people there. And if they control the flow of information, then they get to do whatever they decide they want to do. It's not right. Quick break. When we get back, headlines for you. It's up next here on The Rude Awakening. Stay with us. Yes. Jay in the chat room over in Rudinia says, sounds like when they break it down into small groups, they're using a form of Hegelian dialectic. Oh, yeah. It's what's, And here's the weird thing. I mean, if you go online and look at some of the techniques they teach in Broad Academy, and they teach Broad Academy members, it's one of the things. It's about small group participation. You take the large meeting, you break it down into small groups, and you have some sort of a spokesman for the group, and that way you're able to give the feeling like you're actually meeting and listening to ideas. But what it is one person running the small group rather than one person standing there telling everybody, here's what we're going to do. It's one person then just basically saying, okay, here's what we need to do and here's what we need to talk about. They lead the discussion and are able to pull out whatever information or whatever points and data points they need to pull out from their small groups, and then they turn around and in turn and present that to the larger group. It seems like you're then talking about stuff and discussing things, but you're just being led to, okay, well then, here's your choices. Now what choice do you have out of those? Here's your other choices. What choice do you have out of those? Problem, reaction, solution, control. Yes, it's exactly what it is. Here's the problem. Here's the different solutions. What do you do? As opposed to, let's get some information. Let's get some feedback on this. No. It's controlled feedback. It's directed feedback. Here's your choices for feedback. Which one do you choose? Well, I like this. It's not one of the choices. It's this, or this. So, yeah. Again, as parents out there, you should contact the school board. You should contact the administration and say, look, we need to go ahead and make up all these meetings that were missed. We need to have more meetings as well, because there's been some question as to when the meetings are, where they are, things like that. We need to have a clear and concise understanding of when the meetings are, where they're going to be, and what's going to be discussed. And rather than breaking up into small groups, we would like a chance just to, as a large group of parents, give our thoughts and ideas. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to ask. Well, I don't, but I'm sure other people may think that's fairly unreasonable. But it's your money. It's your kids. It's your schools. It's your community. I think you have a little bit of say in that.
Well, it is. And honestly, the school calendar is one of the things that affects you most.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that balanced calendars are bad. I'm not saying that they're great. I'm just saying, look, I know people who have gone through both. I know people who have sent their kids through both. I know kids who have gone through both. And there's pros and cons on both sides. There really is. If a balanced calendar is put into place correctly and it's thought out and it's actually run correctly, it can be a great thing. It can be. I've seen it take. We have several schools in the area that run on balanced calendars or year-round schools.
Mm-hmm.
Alcoa is one. Maryville is one. You look at their results and you look at where they place, statewide and nationwide, and we're not just talking about athletics. We're talking about academics. They don't do too bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty well regarded. So it's not a bad thing. It does take, but it is change, and people are resistant to change. But the problem is there needs to be open and honest discussion from both sides saying, look, here's the good things, here's the bad things. What do we decide what's best for our kids? Because in the end, that's what it's really about. What's best for these students? It really is. What is best for these students? Not what's most convenient for you or what's convenient for the teachers or what we want to do because there's money here. No, it's what is best for these students. And there has to be honest and open discussion about that. And to use their vernacular, you as parents are the stakeholders. You as taxpayers are the stakeholders. It's your community school, it's your kids, it's your money. You are the stakeholders. You should be calling the shots, along with the administration, along with the teachers. You should have a full and honest input into what's going on.
Absolutely,
because you are the stakeholders.
Mm-hmm.
So, our number 865-243-TALK, 243-8255. We got 46 weather alerts out there right now.
Really?
46.
A lot of wind, right?
No. Hard freeze watch.
Oh, well.
Hard freeze warnings. Hard last night at West High. JB, good morning. You're on the Rude Awakening.
First of all, let me clarify. Cell Block D was in lockdown last night, and I couldn't get out. But I did get an email. My son was performing last night. I had to go to that. But a friend of mine who was there sent me an email with an outline for what happened. I'll be real. By the way, I want to apologize if people think I was rude to Mr. McIntyre the other day. When you've been trying to get information and quick responses and simple answers over years, you get a little frustrated after a while.
Well, I understand, and I understand your frustration, and that's what I said. I mean, it's it got to a point where it was defeating any type of conversation between both of y'all because he wasn't going to say anything, and it was frustrating you, and so
precisely. In any event, but anyway, here's the summary of what happened last night. About 65 people were there. Mm-hmm. Looked like 15 to 18 were KCS people from downtown. Mm-hmm. The so-called the group,
sure.
The ones that are there, the stooges, if you will. Mrs. Banner, who's the principal of West High, was the presenter. Mm-hmm. And here's some of the things that came out of the discussion. Number one, first of all, about 12 citizens spoke. Mm-hmm. 10 were against year-round schools. Yeah. 2 were for.
Okay.
10 against, 2 for. Here's the other thing. There'll be a survey in April, I guess, going out to us somehow or the other. If it's communicated as well as this calendar was, and it'll be really hard for us to get this, but there'll be a survey going out in April to see people's responses, theoretically. Okay. Here's some of the things about it. They're now telling us it will cost about $20 million. $20 million. And, of course, that means probably $30 or $40 million to implement this thing.
Sure.
But here's the kicker. The summer intersections, the enrichment, the extra classes, the extra teachers, all that stuff, all these things are not mandated. Therefore, if we're not mandating all this enrichment and this extra work, then what's the purpose of all this, of this so-called year-round school?
Yeah.
And lastly, they're going to vote on this in the summer while everybody's on vacation. So let's review.
Wow.
There were 65 people there, and about a third of them were people from downtown. So they successfully kept a lot of folks from getting there. Mm-hmm. About 12 people spoke. 10 were against it, 2 were for it. They're going to send a survey out in April somehow about this very good. Maybe it'll be like as good as the calendar, and somehow we're going to get this survey, and they're going to vote on this in the summer, probably when everyone's on vacation. Now, they said the cost could be about $20 million. Now, they're always underestimating on this, but they also tell us that the summer intersessions and enrichments are not mandated. If they're not mandated, then I don't understand the rationale for providing this year-round program.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of questions. Remember, Karen Carson told us at school board meeting that if 70% of the teachers, this may be the teacher survey they're talking about, if 70% of the teachers are for this, she's for it.
Yeah.
And my thought is, what about the taxpayers that will have to pay this $20 million? Again, transparency is not the first important. It's not the first thing on top of their list for these folks.
Sure.
And so that's what I have about the meeting.
Well, JB, we appreciate it, and we appreciate you letting us know about what happened last night. We thank you very much. I've been trying to give the benefit of the doubt to them, saying it's not passed, it hadn't passed yet. When he had a person sit right here in front of me and say, we're still in just the looking at stages. We haven't decided anything, but if they're gonna bull rush it through here and control the flow of information, control the communication with it, and then just say, well, here at the end we've made the decisions and we had open meetings and nobody, not that many people were against it, and then there's a problem. So right now, today, over the next few weeks, over the next month, you contact your school board members. You contact your staff members at school. You contact the administrators in the AJ building. You let them know, look, we still need to weigh this out. This is not something that you all need to vote on in the summer. This is something that we all still need to look at as the people that will be funding this, as the people that are going to be affected by this with our kids. We still need more time to talk about it and find out more information about it. You have that right. And as parents and again, to use their phrases, as stakeholders, that's your duty. You should be doing that. And I hope that everybody will. Otherwise, you're going to turn around one day and go, where did this come from? How'd this happen? Wow. So to the